Family betrayal doesn't always come with shouting. Sometimes it comes dressed in a smile, standing under wedding lights. My name is Leah, and for most of my life, I was the responsible one. Not the loud one, not the dramatic one, the dependable one. My younger sister, Naira, was the favorite. She had the charm, the effortless laugh, the way of walking into a room and owning it. My parents adored her confidence. They called her the bright star of the family. I was the backup plan, the stable one, the one who never caused trouble. When Naira got engaged, the entire house transformed overnight. Wedding magazines covered the coffee table. Fabric samples were spread across the sofa. My mother talked about guest lists as if planning a royal event. And then reality hit. My father's business had been struggling for months. Loans were stacking up quietly behind forced smiles. One evening, I overheard my parents arguing in the kitchen. "We can't afford this wedding," my father whispered harshly. "She deserves it," my mother replied. "We can't let people talk." That sentence stayed with me. We can't let people talk. The wedding wasn't about happiness. It was about image. That night, I made a decision. I had savings. Years of working overtime, skipping vacations, choosing practicality over pleasure. The next morning, I transferred a large portion of my savings to my father's account. "Use it for the wedding," I said. My father looked relieved. My mother looked emotional. Naira hugged me tightly. "You're the best sister ever." For a moment, I felt seen. I shouldn't have. From that day on, I became invisible again. Except when payments were due. The venue deposit, I handled it. The catering advance, my card. The designer lehenga Naira fell in love with, I covered the difference when it went over budget. Each time she promised, "I'll pay you back when things settle." Each time my mother added softly, "You know she doesn't earn like you." I didn't argue. I told myself this is what family does. As the wedding approached, relatives began arriving. The house buzzed with compliments. "Naira is glowing. She's so lucky to have such supportive parents." Supportive parents. I said nothing. The wedding day came wrapped in gold and noise. Lights hung from every corner. The stage shimmered. Guests took photos against the expensive floral wall I had paid for. I stood near the side, wearing a simple dress. I didn't want attention. Then the speeches began. My father took the microphone first. He spoke about sacrifice, about how parents give everything for their children. Applause filled the hall. My mother cried dramatically as she described Naira's childhood. And then Naira herself took the mic. She looked radiant, confident, perfect. "I just want to thank my amazing parents," she began. "They worked so hard to give me the wedding of my dreams. I know how much they struggled, but they never let me feel it." The crowd clapped. I waited. Surely she would mention me. Surely. Instead, she laughed lightly and added, "And to everyone who thought we couldn't pull this off, look at us now." That was it. No acknowledgement. Not even a sentence. People around me turned and smiled proudly at my parents. Something inside me felt very small. But the worst wasn't the silence. It was what happened later. During dinner, I walked past a group of relatives and heard my aunt whisper, "It's impressive how her parents managed all this alone." I heard Leah didn't contribute much. Another voice replied, "She's always been distant." I stopped walking. Didn't contribute much? I felt heat rise to my face. I searched for Naira and found her near the stage, laughing with friends. I pulled her aside gently. "Why didn't you mention that I helped?" I asked quietly. She looked confused. "Mention what?" "The money. I paid for most of this." She frowned slightly. "Why does it matter? It's a family thing." "It matters because people think I did nothing," she shrugged. And then she said the sentence I will never forget. "Well, you offered. It's not like I forced you." The music continued playing behind us. Guests laughed. Cameras flashed. But everything sounded distant. I realized in that moment that I wasn't a sister in this story. I was a sponsor. And sponsors don't get emotional credit. I left the wedding early. No dramatic scene. No confrontation. Just a quiet exit. The next morning, my phone exploded with messages. Why did you leave so early? You embarrassed us. You're overreacting. Overreacting. That word again. I replied only once. I transferred the final payment receipt to Dad's email. Please confirm the remaining amount you owe me. Silence followed. Hours later, my mother called. How can you ask for money now, after the wedding? Because it was a loan, I said calmly. Not a gift. Her tone changed instantly. So this is how you are? Keeping score? No, I replied. I'm setting boundaries. The word boundaries felt foreign in my mouth, but it felt powerful. Days turned into weeks. No repayment came. Instead, stories started spreading. Leah ruined the wedding mood. Leah is jealous. Leah is greedy. It amazed me how quickly narratives shift when you stop being convenient. I gathered all transaction records, every transfer, every invoice. I sent a clear message in the family group chat. I paid a total of amount. I need a repayment plan within 30 days. The backlash was immediate. My father accused me of disrespect. My mother said I was breaking the family apart. Naira didn't reply at all. That silence hurt more than insults. But this time, I didn't fold. 30 days passed. Nothing. So I did something no one expected. I sent a legal notice, not out of revenge, but out of self-respect. That's when panic began. Suddenly, I wasn't overreacting. I was serious. My father called me late that night. Is money more important than family? I took a deep breath. No, I said, but dignity is. There was a long pause. For the first time in my life, he didn't have an argument. Within 2 months, I received the full repayment. Reluctantly, painfully, in installments. But something else was returned too. My sense of worth. Family gatherings became colder after that. Invitations fewer, conversations shorter. But strangely, I felt lighter. Because I finally understood something. Love without respect is manipulation. Support without acknowledgement is exploitation. And silence in the face of injustice is self-betrayal. Months later, I saw wedding photos posted online. Perfect smiles, perfect captions. Grateful for my supportive family, I didn't comment. I didn't react. I simply closed the app. People still believe I was harsh. Some still think I embarrassed the family. But the truth is simple. I didn't ruin a wedding. I ended a pattern. And sometimes, being the villain in someone else's story is the only way to become the hero in your own. Now when I attend family events, I bring only one thing. Myself. Not my wallet, not my silence. Just myself. And that is finally enough.